Hector Mendoza. On this video, I'm going to show you how to use layers in vectr.com program. It's a free program that allows you to use vector things, right? Okay, so every time you draw something, it creates a new layer for it. Okay, so each one of this have their own layer, the pictures, the text, and all the symbols, right? So if you hover right here, you'll see layers, or you can hit Alt L to get to your layers, right? So you see I'm hitting Alt L. Okay, so each one of these items either is a path, a text, or an image. If you want, you can organize it to where you know which this item is. The way you would do, so let's say that you didn't name it. If you click here, it highlights it. Or if you click here, it highlights it down here. But let's say that you're going to start working on layers. Sometimes it would probably be easier to rename them. Like this is a circle, right? So I can double click and then, change. That way you know that this is the layer for circle. Equally, that's, that's an arrow, right? Or let's go ahead and click here. Change that. Another way, if you right click, oh, it doesn't let me. Okay, never mind. So this is a star. This is a little house. Oh no. Oh, it's down here. Okay, so, and of course, text is text. Now, if you had a bunch of different text boxes, you would probably want to name them. For instance, this is, on this text, I would name it ABC, and if you were talking about a cow or whatever, you could rename it. So each one of these things, and here's an image here, right? So on this image, I could actually name it exterior of house, or whatever you want to name it. Okay, so there's a few things you can do with these layers. For instance, let's say that I had this and I got it like right here, right? And every time that I would try to click something, I might accidentally, here, let me see. In this case, so let's say that, here, let me bring this to the front, okay? Okay, here. So right now, this is right here, right? You can grab the starburst and take it all the way to the top. As you know, if you notice right now, the plus sign is on top of the starburst, so is the house. Now, if I push it all the way to the front, now the starburst is in front of the house, right? So let's say that you had an image like this, but you want to get to the star. Right now it's real easy, but sometimes if I click here, let's say I was trying to select the star and I click here, look what happens. Same thing. Let's say if I wanted to select this part of the house, it selects that, right? What you can actually do is you can hide it or you can lock the starburst. So if I hit L, it's lock. Now, you see, even though I click right on the star, if I click, you see I'm clicking right here on the star, it selected the plus sign. Even though I'm selecting right on top of the star, I can select the house because this is locked. No matter what I do, like you see, I selected everything, it didn't select this because I have it locked. So that's a real cool thing about locking something is that you can, like for instance, let's say that I wanted to move this plus sign around. I can move it. So it's hidden back there, right? But I can move it because this thing is locked and it won't let me select anything on that star. So, and that's real cool when you're drawing. You always want to lock your image behind there, okay? So that's one thing. I showed you how to move up and down. So let's say that I wanted that star in front of the starburst, right? There's two ways you could do it. I could grab this star, bring it all the way to the top, or if I hit my control key and my open bracket, excuse me, shift open bracket, it would bring it up to there, right? And let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me bring up my key. Oh, actually, you know what? Here's my keyboard right here. Okay, so this is the open and close bracket. So if you hit your, look down here, you see I'm going to hold my shift key and then I'm going to hold my left bracket. So I would hit the shift key and then I hold it down and I would, so I want that to go to the back of everything, right? I'm going to click here. Watch what happens. This keyboard's not working here. So look, so I hit those two keys. Hit shift, open bracket, takes it to the back. Shift, close bracket, brings it to the front. Or you can right click and if you click down here, those are my alignments, never mind. So if you can click here and move your starburst around to where you want. So that's how you can move your layers. And remember, you can lock them. Like I can't do nothing with this starburst. Now, if we didn't have it named, it would be hard to figure out which one is locked, right? So I'm going to unlock it. Now let me show you some other stuff when it comes to layers. Let's say that I had this star here and temporarily, I don't want to delete it, but I don't want it there, right? You see this eye? If you click on that, it hides it. So if you exported this right now, it would export looking just like this. Equally, I can click on this photo, right? Let's say I wanted to export everything, but I wanted to leave the starburst out and the exterior house. I could click off of that. So when I would export this, save it as, or hide whatever I wanted to do, print it. When I export it, it's only going to export this stuff. And if it exports it, it's going to be hidden, so you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, so that's another thing about layers. Um, Now, whenever you're working, and this really doesn't have anything to do with layers, but I want to show you a little bit about alignments. So let's say I have this image here. Do you see the horizontal line to the left and that horizontal blue line to the bottom? What this is telling me, that heart is being aligned to the object on top and to the object at the bottom. Now, if I wanted to align this heart to the middle of that plus sign, look, if I inch it to the left, you see, the that line right in the middle of the plus sign. Well, you know that's a line there. Now, let's say that right now, if you notice, this heart is aligned. It was aligned to the bottom here. It's actually it's aligned to the center of the arrow. And okay, so the bottom of the heart is aligned to the center of the arrow and the gear wheel, right? If I wanted to align it to the bottom of it, I just inch it down until you see that line. Now it's all lined up to the bottom. So whenever you see those blue lines, that's what you're seeing. And it actually will snap to the center or the bottom, the top, and so forth. Now, there's other ways to use alignments. So let's say that this was off a little bit, this one was off a little bit this way, and then this is off a little bit. Let's say that I want to align all of them in a vertical line without moving them up and down. I like the position horizontally, but I want to vertically line them up. I can hold my shift key and select the items that I want to align. Once I select the items I want to align, if I right click, now this scroll button here, you have to go down because this is where the alignment is. And so we can align center. Actually, I could align to the left. You see, I'm going to hit Control Z. I can align to the center, and you can use your scroll mouse too to go up and down this thing. So this time we're going to align center. See, and what it does, they move from left to right, right in the center where everything was at, and then you could actually move it around. So if I deselected this item and I wanted to move all of them, you see how it didn't let me, it only allowed me to move one of them. I can select them all, then move it, right? Another thing you can do is while you have them selected, you can right click and you can group it. Okay, you see right here? So if you click on group, then when you click on one of them, I don't care which one you click on, they all move. Now they're a group item. But even though they're a group item, you can still individually alter, uh, uh, one of those items. Okay. Actually, it's not letting me, so I guess you have to ungroup it. So, to ungroup it is Shift Control G. That ungroups it. Then I think then you could go in here and alter it, right? So let's say that this house you didn't want a door on it. You could go in here and start removing the door out of there. Okay, and then let's say once you did your alteration, then you wanted to select all of them. If you hit Control G, now they're grouped. Or you can right click and go to group. You know, it's grayed out because we've already grouped it. Equally, you can ungroup it or hit Control Shift G to ungroup it. Also, let's say let's ungroup it, and let's say that you wanted to, let's say they were like this one was here, and then this one was here, okay, and this was a little further, and you want them to align them this way, center of each. You can select them, right click, go down, align, and you're going to align middle and it horizontally. Or you can right click, align, let's say to the bottom of each one of them, or the top, align top. Okay, so that's how you can work with layers. And with layers, here's another thing, so remember, so let's say that you had that there, but you wanted the arrow on top. You're gonna select the arrow, and then remember you can hit shift open, close bracket, or you can go in here and move it around to where you want. So those are the kind of ways that you can group, use your layers. You know, I talked about snap in and grids before, but if you can use your grid to snap to a grid, you see I'm snapping to the top part. There's another way of you to align is by snapping to a grid. Same thing. Let's say that you wanted to snap to the left of an item. You can snap it that way. You also can snap an item to each other. Okay, so let me see what else. That's basically what I wanted to show on this video. Uh, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Not a subscriber, subscribe to me, and I'm going to be showing how to use every single one of these items. So I've already talked about page options. We just talked about layers. We talked about the pen tool. Now I'm going to talk about elements, uh, shapes, the pencil, and the text tool. And I've already talked about how to upload and download images. And we talked a little bit about settings. But anyway, the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about elements. Thank you for watching this video, and I do appreciate all of y'all.